You are right.
Good evening, everyone. You already know what time it is. Welcome to the Women of Power radio show. Okay, so before we get started, y'all know how we roll. Make sure you take this time to share. You look like you want to say something.
Like when you say share, I thought about where is my tablet, Jesus?
Oh,
Yeah, you want to share right now. So
well, yeah, take this time to share. Take this time to
look at my tablet.
Yeah, take this time to share. All right, y'all. So I know y'all saw the topics. As usual, it's gonna be a little spicy. A lot of spicy. Hold on. So let me also take the time to share.
So we've got some really good topics for tonight, and I'm excited because yeah, I've already been thinking about some responses, and I just think it's going to be some interesting dialogue based off of
This hot mess.
Right. So listen, you guys, right now, you want to like the video. Like the video, you guys. And I'm telling everybody, look, tune in. Also, share this to your relationship groups and some of your other groups that you think that might be interested in this type of dialogue, so we can definitely get more people on to comment and share. Woohoo!
Can I share it back onto Women's Power Radio? Hold on.
Did you?
No, I got it. I did it right because I did that last time.
Hey, Sade Lampkin, thank you for joining us on tonight. So yeah, we're getting ready to jump started. Like I said, we've got some interesting stuff going on, and so yeah. No, I don't want to share it with the mighty chaperoutes. Okay. So yes.
Hold on, y'all. Oh, you go ahead. I'm sharing.
No, still sharing.
Sending the link to you of people who need it on from YouTube.
Got you. Yeah, and don't forget to tell your family and friends that if they don't have social media, they can always catch the Women of Power radio show on Facebook Live. On YouTube Live. Yeah. And if you have missed the show, make sure you go to YouTube and type in Women of Power radio show, subscribe, and then you can also go back and look at some of the old shows and catch up on what you missed. That part. Right. Joe Kegler, thank you so much for joining us on tonight. Welcome to the Women of Power radio show, where we've got some hot topics tonight that we're getting ready to jump right into. So, Nana, what is our first question that was submitted by one of our listeners? And those of you that are watching now, I want you to know that you too can submit your relationship questions to Women of Power.
Yes. So we're going to jump right into this hot mess. Okay. So the first question that we got was from a young woman who says that I live next door to my boyfriend and his wife. Yes, let that sink in. She said, I live next to my boyfriend and his wife. However, I've noticed that his wife tends to have male company when he's not here. So should I tell him? But at the same time, I don't want the responsibility of him and his kids in case they break up. But it's not right, she says, because he finances her whole lifestyle. So I'm assuming she must be a housewife of some sort. So she wants to know, should she tell? And it's like, girl, how?
Right. Well, I think before we address should she tell, we need to address her situation.
Exactly.
My sister. Yeah. you all kind of
where y'all be purchasing your audacities from? That's what I need to know. Like
yeah, you got it out of order. And so to me, you trying to establish order is like a conundrum. It's like very funny.
Yeah.
So I would say, let's focus on you for a minute. Let's put you in the spotlight and focus on your lifestyle. You saying you're living next door to your boyfriend who lives with his wife.
Right.
So you pretty much
a side piece.
You're married. You're dating a married man.
That part.
So let's deal with that part right there. So I'm going to give you some spiritual advice.
Go ahead.
Come on. My recommendation to you is to wait. I know she said something about she didn't want a commitment, or she just doesn't want the
responsibility. Because it's like, it's kind of funny because most side pieces, or a lot of them, want the guy to leave their wife for them, right? The ultimate dream is that one day he's going to pack up his stuff, leave her for good, and be with her. But she's saying she enjoys being a part-time girlfriend. She doesn't want the responsibility of him and his kids should the marriage break up. And then he's like, oh, you my girl now. So that's why she's like, she wants to tell. But at the same time, if she tells and he leaves and comes to her, she doesn't want that either, because then she's going to have to actually be committed to him. So the whole thing is just a hot mess.
This is such a hot mess. But while we're thinking about that, Provoking a Change Ministry, thank you for joining us on tonight. Kathy Henderson, how you doing? Ohima Conado.
Ohima Conado.
Oh, Ohima Conado. Yes. And Azure Badger, Jocelyn Brown out of California. Thank you all for jumping in. As we stated, our first question is kind of a hot mess. Okay. And so we got to deal with this facetedness. This has layers.
A lot of layers.
Yeah, it's got layers. So
my question, I guess, is even, have any of you all, let's just be real, since we all know how we do, we real and raw over here. Have any of y'all ever been a side piece? Men, this is for you too, because we know, hey,
that you dated someone
knowing that they were
in a marriage.
I say marriage or a relationship, because either way they're committed. Have y'all ever been knowingly or unknowingly the side piece to a relationship?
I would say I've been unknowingly.
How'd you find out?
Because one of his friends told me.
Oh,
but it was like
he broke the code. Most of the time, men don't tell.
Well, I think it was like his wife is coming. You need to go. And I'm like, what? Oh. Yeah, I guess they all assumed I knew, and I didn't. But it was like 6 to 8 months. I had no clue.
Wow.
And I don't know how I couldn't be his wife, because I would be like, you are MIA all the time. So yeah, this was many years ago, and I had no clue, and the only reason why is because we spent time together every day.
And that's the thing, especially when you're spending a lot of time together. That's why for you, it's probably like, how did his wife not know, if that's the case? Because y'all are always together.
Right. So, yeah. So I guess that would be a yes for me. Any of you guys ever unknowingly or knowingly been in what you thought was a relationship with somebody who was already in a relationship?
No, I'm seeing no comments. I'm guessing that means none of y'all have been side pieces ever in your life. So it's just
why does it have to be that word?
It's just us. Because that's what it is.
It sounds so negative.
It's a side. You're not the main course. You're a side. In college, I unknowingly was a side piece.
Knowingly?
It switched. That's why I'm going to tell you. I was unknowingly the side piece, and then I found out later on. But this is after we've been dealing with each other for like 6 months. Then I found out the whole time he had a girlfriend. But then I feel like, I'm already here.
We've been together all this time.
She doesn't go here. So yeah, it's not missed.
Yeah, it sucks though.
Yeah.
So, but she knows because she lives next door to her boyfriend.
Right.
So, I'm wondering if their relationship started because they were neighbors. Or did he move her next door?
I was thinking maybe Orange just said finance her lifestyle.
Right.
To me, it made me think he's probably paying for her to live right there too, so she can be in close proximity. So when they do what they does, he could just go right to his crib and nobody would ever notice that, he was gone for too long.
Oh my. So yeah, I would have to say that's very interesting. He's financing her lifestyle. She don't want to mess it up for him, but then she feels compelled to let him know. So because she lives next door, she sees men coming over.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she said she hears them even sometimes. So the wife is clearly cheating. This is not like speculation, or she just sees a man. Like she hears the wife with other men.
I'm like you, the audacity. Yeah. Like the audacity, first of all, to be messing with a married man, a man you know that's
twofold, yes.
Because he's taking care of you. But then to live next door to him and identify that his wife is cheating and have the audacity to want to tell on her.
Now you want to all of a sudden be judging.
Right. Like your moral compass is all over the place.
Yeah.
So yeah. Hey Mandy, thank you for joining us on tonight. So you guys come on, throw out your Sade says what? What you got going on, Sade?
Sade said, I messed with someone who had a girlfriend. I was cool because I wasn't trying to be frontline anyway.
So you're the same, it's the same situation. She doesn't want to be frontline. But then we have to ask ourselves, because we always talk about, we've got to establish standards and all these different things. Mm-hmm. So now we got to ask ourselves, what are we saying? I mean, what does that mean? I don't mind being the sideline because I don't want to be the main. Like, well, what are you doing? You just wanting companionship?
Having fun, companionship without the commitment. The benefits without signing your life over. You understand? That's what it is. I'm just summing it up, but I don't know.
Signing your life over.
Some people commitment feels like change. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. I guess I never walked down that road, or everybody I met just wanted to be in a relationship.
Kathy Henderson said that's terrible.
Yes, Kathy, that is horrible.
It's just a
and so she's asking us, should she tell the wife? Or should she tell the husband?
Yeah.
But we got to ask you, sis, what are you doing there? You need to have what is it, Lolita Adams? Is that her name?
Who's that?
How did you get
Deborah Cox?
You need to have a Deborah Cox moment and just ask yourself, how did
Nobody's supposed to.
Nobody's supposed to be in this situation.
No, y'all just need to go on Ayana Fix My Life, because that whole thing is just...
Yeah, that's like layers of just ratchetness. And we're trying to be ratchet to righteous over here. Come on here. And so, so if you're asking me my advice on should she tell him, heck no. It's not your place.
Right.
It's not your place.
Yeah.
Hey, Ricky, thank you for tuning in on tonight. Listen, y'all, the question is scrolling on the bottom, so feel free to jump in. Now I threw a question out there to each of y'all watching. Have y'all ever been
knowingly or unknowingly a side piece in a relationship?
Ever.
And if you were, let us know the deets, because that's what we're talking about.
And I said I had unknowingly, but to be honest with you, when I did find out,
you didn't go anywhere.
It was knowingly.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's what happened to me. You started out, but you just get in too deep, and then it's like, well, we're already here, and I have feelings now, so whatever.
And then when I tried to get away, he was like, but no, bro, I don't. That's not what I desire. And so I guess I could understand how you could be in a relationship with somebody else that was in another relationship, but I guess I wouldn't have been as understanding if I didn't.
Just think of it for a second. Imagine knowing that you were at the time that you knew that you were a side piece, right? Mm-hmm. And then you found out that significant other was cheating.
I wouldn't care.
Are you?
No, that's her. Do you?
Yeah. I know what I'm doing.
I'm still a woman. Yeah. I mean, at that time, I was not trying to live no kind of righteous, no kind of way. But I'm still a woman, so I would be like, you know what? I mean, once I found out, I felt some type of way for her because I wouldn't want it done to me. But like I said, I was so far in, I couldn't imagine walking away.
Right.
And I didn't have the maturity to walk away at that time.
And just so, low key, if I did see something like that, I would feel less guilty because I'd be like, oh, so she's getting her looks back anyway. So we're all even.
Would you be like, go girl?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, girl, we good.
But see, I think she's feeling differently because she's being taken care of. Mm-hmm. So now she feels some sense of loyalty. Like he's paying all my bills. He's
doing all these nice things.
He's taking care of me.
Instead of being faithful to his wife.
Yeah. Like he's the perfect guy if he wasn't married, but he is, and he lives next door to you. But now you want to get a conscience. But I think her conscience is stemming from the fact that he's taking care of her. So it's like she feels obligated because it is an obligation. When you're with somebody and you're just with them strictly for the money, it is an obligation. It's not a relationship.
It's transactional.
It's a transaction. And so therefore, in a transaction, there's giving and receiving. So in her transactional situation, she's receiving all these benefits and she's giving some goods, but also she probably feels like I need to show some type of loyalty.
Yeah, true. Still a hot mess.
It is such a hot mess. I don't even know how to unwrap this gift. And I wish y'all was helping me, but I can't get no help on here.
Okay, none.
Other than Kathy and Sade. But yeah, I think it's important that we help this lady. I know she came for B, but we're going to have to help her with A.
So yeah, I'm going to definitely say, let's see. Kathy said she's trapped with emotions and fiance. Or is it emotions and finances?
Yeah, finances.
Okay.
Yeah, she's pretty much trapped because she's complacent.
Yeah.
And that's why she's like, she didn't say, should I tell her or not? Because I don't want to break up their marriage. She said, should I tell him or not? Because I don't want him to come over here.
Yeah.
And I don't want him to move in with me and try to have a full-time relationship with me.
And she doesn't want to deal with kids either. So
right. So that's crazy. So yeah, I agree. She is trapped. Hey, what's up, Mary? How you doing tonight? Come on here.
We'd love to hear your thoughts on this. As you can see, the hot mess topic is going across the screen there.
Yes.
So again, let me just recap. We had a young woman who wrote in who said, hey, y'all, I live next to my boyfriend and his wife. Now, I've noticed that she's had male company when he's not here, and I even sometimes hear them. So she knows that she's cheating, but she said, I don't want to have him leave her and then have to deal with the responsibility of him and his kids if I tell. But at the same time, I feel like it's not right because he's finances her lifestyle. So she wants to know,
he's financing your lifestyle.
Should she tell her or not? And we were like, again, where do y'all be purchasing your audacities from? Like, you already out of order, but now all of a sudden you want to be a beacon of, I don't know, hope and say, oh, I saw this and I want to say something. But like, girl, you weren't worried about that when y'all been doing what y'all been doing.
Why don't you say something about yourself?
That part.
How about you tell her you messing with her husband? I mean, if you want to just tell somebody something, that to me, that is so crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah. Right. Mary say, what?
Oh, she messy.
She messy. Right.
Side pieces tend to be, girl.
Listen, she is messy, and your life is the mess.
Roosevelt. Oh, hey, Roosevelt. Some testosterone in the room. He said entanglement at its finest. Yes.
Mr. Walker.
That is such an entanglement.
That is such an entanglement.
Let's see. Kathy said that's not her business.
It's really not, Kathy.
Just like the married man wasn't, but it didn't stop her there.
No.
But clearly, sis has no boundaries.
But we see her motivation. Her motivation for messing with this married man is financial.
Right.
It's a financial benefit to her. She don't have to do nothing. He pays for everything. So to a young lady, that's very attractive. You know, because maybe she didn't grow up in around where morals were like, set and established. And so to her, she's like, this is a straight come up. So so it's a come up for you. Let it just be a come up then. But don't try to, I'm not going to say destroy the marriage because you've already destroyed the marriage, but maybe she knows. Maybe the wife knows and says, you know what, I'm going to have some fun too, which makes it even a bigger mess. But
I definitely say, don't say anything off the strength that you already said yourself. You don't want to mess up what y'all have going on, considering he may leave his wife and come to you and you don't want the kid and you don't want. So at the end of the day, like, why feel a need to feel quote unquote loyal to someone who's not even loyal to their own vows? Like, girl, it doesn't, at this point, it doesn't even matter.
Right. Really and you need to work on your own financial independence.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people stay in situations because they're financially dependent on a person. And I would be honest with you, if he's taking care of all your bills, he moved you next door to him and his wife, he has literally control over your life because now he can make sure nobody's coming to your house.
And have y'all ever been in a situation like that? Fellas, I'm sure y'all probably can't relate because normally it's y'all who's financing the lifestyle. But women, have y'all ever been in a relationship where that person was financing a lot of, so it became to a point to where maybe you did want to leave, but because of the financial entanglement, I'll even say, or maybe fellas, y'all can relate too, because I'm even talking about, let's say if y'all live together, y'all sharing bills, that kind of thing, but you know the relationship is dead, y'all need to break up, y'all need to go your separate ways, but at this point,
you can't afford
y'all both can't afford it. So y'all in the house looking at each other, side-eyeing, angry, but y'all can't go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have the money to do so. So
listen,
you have to make it
I
work.
would digress in a situation like that. I would digress and go back to my mama's house if I was in a situation like that, to where I just couldn't afford to move out on my own. But that's why it's so important that men and women be financially independent, which means you be able to take care of yourself because anything can happen to your spouse. Their insurance might have lapsed. They could pass in a car accident, and here you are now on the verge of being homeless after 90 days, and all these situations. So always be financially independent. Always develop yourself a cushion. Even if you're in a relationship, you're married, you guys need to have a financial cushion because anything can happen.
Prophet Webby, I believe, said that. INDEPENDENT.
Right. Do you know what that means? Right. You got to be financially independent.
Kathy Henderson said it's all going to blow up eventually. Yes.
Right. And Kathy, more than likely, it's going to blow up in a really bad way. And it's probably going to blow up with his wife catching him going over next door. Which, how are you even doing that? You live next door. What do you tell your wife?
That's how she's doing.
Hey, I'm going for
to
a
the
walk.
store. Yeah, you can say I'm going to the store. Or I'm even, if And even if I'm going out with the fellas, because she doesn't know what's next door. So, okay, if I know my husband's going out with the fellas, I'm expecting him to be gone for a significant amount of time because he's with his boys, not knowing he's just with the toys next door. You see what I'm saying?
That's
so the whole thing is crazy. Frass, I don't want to say your name wrong. I hope I'm saying it right. Frass Milne said she's no good.
Right.
Yeah,
well, it sounds like neither one of them no good. Because
one of them ain't no good.
Right, all of them cheating. Yeah. She's cheating with the husband, the wife cheating on the husband, and the husband cheating on the wife. It's just like a myriad of cheating going on here, and nobody is looking at this picture saying this ain't right. But why? It's all. Let me tell you something. It all boils down to motives. Mm-hmm. Everything. If you boil the water down, it all boils down to friendships. What is your motive? Relationships. What is your motive? Occupations. What is your motive? What are you hoping to get out of this? And their motives, none of them are pure. Mm-mm. None of them are pure. They all have some side.
Kathy Henderson said, "Mother said, have your own money.
Have your own money. Listen, you need it. You know, even women that are in abusive relationships, you hear probably 20% of them will say they're afraid to leave because they'll be homeless or they'll be, but I would rather be living on the side of Rosedale Street in Fort Worth, Texas, than to stay in an abusive relationship after I have come to the realization that I don't need to be in this relationship no more. Because the reality of it is, it takes a different amount of time for different people.
Hey! One of the originals.
One of the original Women of Power. Hey, Maximilian, how you doing? Listen, as you can see, tonight's hot topic.
And Max said, yes. Hey, sisters, that's right. Have your own money.
Have your own. You got to. You got to be able to be independent because of life changes and things that happen.
Cheryl Lewis said, Mama may have, Papa may have, but
God bless the child that's got their own. And so you starting off on the wrong foot. And this is an anonymous person, so we're not going to share her name. But you're starting off on the wrong foot if you're starting off in this relationship with this married man and you're totally financially dependent on him. Because obviously you at home in the day because you're seeing the men creeping in and out on his wife, who's a housewife. So you have nothing else, nothing better to do, but you have time to do something. To use this time, if you're going to live in sin and do all these things that are, not right, at least you could be doing is doing something on the side, stacking your paper so that you come out of it with something. Because there are so many women that stay in relationships that will never become anything, meaning that they're promising, I'm going to leave my wife. I'm going to leave my wife.
And it doesn't come to fruition. It doesn't happen.
If I had $1
for every time,
I'd be a millionaire. If every woman that said she was waiting for a man to leave his wife gave me $1, I would be a millionaire.
And see, that's exactly what I was going to touch on. Cheryl said go back to school. The thing is, you have to even always have some kind of skill set. Even if for whatever reason you happen to be a housewife or whatever, God forbid, something happens to your husband. What skills do you have that can provide some kind of income? Because I've seen to where women have been in those positions, but they don't have literally anything to offer because they didn't finish school. They were just cute. They were pretty. They were trophy wives.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So when that relationship ended, they had nothing, nowhere to go, nowhere to make money. They had to go and make these minimum wage jobs because they never put time into themselves. All those years, they were just taking trips and looking pretty. They weren't going to school. They weren't taking in any kind of knowledge, learning about anything, taking up some kind of trade skill, nothing. So you want to at least be doing something.
Build, constantly evolve yourself. Because we get comfortable. I'm just gonna be honest with you. We get comfortable. We get a job that's paying a good amount of money, and we're like comfortable. Like Nana has never gotten comfortable. She's like, I'm here. I'm making good money. I'm going after my law degree. I want to have my own law firm. So there are a lot more young ladies thinking like you. When historically they had not. They were just like, I'm married. I'm just gonna be a housewife. I'm cool with him bringing out an income in and him giving me, money on the side. No. The young ladies on today, and I would say even some of, I'm just gonna say throughout history there have been women, but I think there's more younger women that are doing it now that are like, I want to start my own business. I want to invest. Especially, and I want you, since you got money.
They did a report, even I think it was on Dateline in 2020, but African American women, as far as entrepreneurs, that make the most money or bringing in the most income in the nation. There's African American women. It was like almost 70-something%. So it's pretty high, really high, college educated.
Yeah, that's that Proverbs 31 woman. Come on here. While the family is yet still asleep, she come on here. She goes to the marketplace and makes transactions. She buys real estate. She does all these different things. And so, but I think historically, like when you look in the 50s and the 40s and the 30s, you know, the wife was just there to sit at home,
have kids, and take care of the kids and cook and clean and all that. And so whenever Joe was cheating with whoever down the street and all they still couldn't do nothing because it's like, where am I gonna go? Like, I know he's cheating, but you know, that's the story for a lot of these grandparents, even though they were married 50, 40 years. If you ask them, was it completely clear and pure of infidelity? The answer is no. There was a lot of infidelity, but Granny had nowhere to go because she ain't had no skills. Nowhere. She graduated and got married. You know what I'm saying?
And the parents was like, you can't come back home.
Right. That part too. So yeah, just get a trade, please.
Absolutely. But I was going to say that it was, I don't know if it was World War I or II, where the women had to actually go into the factories and start working when the men were off at war. And so they actually started getting jobs and realizing that women can work and that we can produce. And so I think that once they were let out the box, then they started getting their own careers and stuff like that. But for a long time, a woman had one position. And I'm just talking about America. I think in Europe, they were kings and queens and all this stuff, you know, historically. So they kind of function more in society. But yeah, I'm sorry. Back to the topic at hand. She needs to get her some paper and get her own income coming in so that at any time she can take over. Because if you don't, sometimes when people yield money over you, like if you don't do what they want you to do,
it's a terrible feeling because you always feel indebted. Like there are times where you will go against your own personal constitution because you feel obligated off the strength that they've done so much for you financially, or because you know that moving forward, a lot of things won't happen since they hold the key financially to a lot of stuff. So where you're like, okay, well, if I don't do this, maybe I need, if you're, let's say, relying on them, I need A, B, and C down the line. And I know if I say no to this, even though I don't want to do it, when that time comes, they're not going to give me the money I need. So you end up doing stuff that you don't even want to do. And just off the strength that you're relying on someone else because they basically are, I don't know what the word is, in control. They're in control of you.
Yeah. And it don't even have to be you want ABC down the line. It could just be you want your lights paid this month, or you need that your rent paid or your mortgage paid.
You just don't want to be kicked out.
You don't want to be kicked out. Yeah. So they have this leverage.
Yeah.
And what we need to do is have our own leverage. And I think that that will free us up. That frees us up. You know what I'm saying? To make better decisions.
Yeah.
People make decisions out of desperation, desperate for money, desperate for love, desperate for all these things. But when you love yourself, when you can love yourself and you can have your own money, then you can make educated decisions and wise decisions and not have that pressure of, I have to.
Right.
I have to.
Your decisions will come from preference because you can, and not from pressure because you can't without them.
That's good. So, that's good. So to this anonymous person, number one, get you some income.
Get you a man who's not married.
Right. Yeah. Well, the man's not even priority. Get you some income and get out on your own. So then you'll have something to offer a man who's not married, you know?
Yeah.
Because not every man is looking for a woman to her.
And most of them are not, actually, especially in this generation. They're not even trying to. They don't want to take really. Barely a date. So they definitely not looking to take care of you. Not like that.
Right. You know, I met this guy one time who was like, you know, I don't have a problem with dating, but you know, I'm not for spending all this money at restaurants. So I believe, you know, doing stuff at the house. First of all, who wants to come and be stuck over at your house while you trying to discover each other? No, that's how stuff happens. Okay. No, this ain't gonna work. I'm sorry.
Roosevelt Walker said on that topic, can we get an age range? An age range for expound.
Yeah, Roosevelt. What you need an age range for? The age range of the woman,
or like
the neighbor, the one that's the neighbor, or the husband and the wife. What you want? Top two is Roosevelt, or is it Roosevelt? Because I know it could be said both ways, Mr. Walker.
Mary Martin said, "I like when y'all do those mini rants back and forth." Cause we off topic, you know what I'm saying? We just be
right. Just share like, look. Yeah.
Oh, he said I might have missed that. Oh, so you meant the age range of the side piece and whatever.
Oh, okay.
They are in their early 30s. So we
all
talking,
of them.
Well, I know her and the guy are in their early 30s.
Okay, we don't know how old the wife is.
Yeah.
Okay, early 30s, 31, 32. He's trying to probably figure out maturity levels. Right.
I see you there.
Okay, Roosevelt. Well, thank you for that. Yeah, and I think that does play a factor, but to me, 30 is young. Early 30s is young.
To be married?
To me, no. To when I'm talking about how young people today, being. So I think even
since we're in our 30s, to us, the 20s are the young ones. Forget you. School over here, even though you don't look like it. You know what I'm saying? You look good.
To God be the glory. To God be the glory. Come on here.
All right, so I guess we're gonna wrap up on this one because I don't see any more feedback on this. So final thoughts.
Yeah, final thought is get your independence, and secondly, stay out them folks' business.
Yeah, so I will piggyback and say, get your independence, make your own money. Pick up a trade or something. Have something more to offer than, I don't know, whether it's the way that you look and some sex. You know what I'm saying? You want to have more to bring to the table, so you won't find yourself in positions to where you are having to deal with folks who can't even fully commit to you.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
all right.
We are going to his commercial. We have the second topic that's coming, which I know y'all saw. Is it possible to be in love with two people at the same time?
But before we go to this topic, now
I'm just giving them a preface so they don't leave.
Before we go go ahead and give them the preface then.
Oh no, that was it. I was just letting them know that. So after we're gonna play this commercial.
Right. Well, it's not really commercial. I just want to let y'all know that Nana has been saying, "Model me, please." Hashtag model
That's
me.
What we do.
Hashtag model me. And listen, she was on a set last week on a shoot. And so we give it up for Nana.
Just a little something, There's power in the tongue. Speak it over yourself. The Bible says, call those things that are not as though they are, and it shall come to pass. And boom, that's only the beginning. So hashtag model me please works, y'all.
Right. So she's been getting calls, you guys. So just keep her lifted. Definitely want to share that.
Thanks.
All right. Nana, we ready for the second?
Okay. Oh, so we're not doing fish and chips?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, you know what? I do want to say that for those of you that have started a new business, if you're a new business owner or you're looking to start a business, Prissy Chicks is giving away $1,000 grant to a new business owner. Only thing you have to do is send them an email with your contact information, 5 sentences on the type of business, and a 2-minute video saying why you deserve to win. You can send that to PrissyChicksSocialClub@gmail.com. It starts on March 26th, which was 4 days ago, and it runs through May 26th. So you've got 56 days.
A long time.
To get that information in, and then they're going to choose a winner, and you could be.
And we know we have some entrepreneurs in here, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe you haven't even done it yet. This is a great way to jumpstart the business that you want to create. So definitely go for it.
Write that email down, you guys. Prissy Chicks Social Club, and that's chicks with a Z, socialclub@gmail.com. Also, you guys, make sure you like and share the video.
That part.
All right, back to
the second topic, y'all. Here we go.
And you don't even need this, I don't think.
Really?
Oh. All right, here goes our second question for today. Come on, you guys.
All right. So I love the way you preface this with cautionology, so I think you should do this as well.
Oh, praise him. Okay, so the second question was submitted to somebody that I believe is practicing cautionology. For those of you that are new to the show on tonight, cautionology is the study of me and my beliefs, which I believe that you are single until you are married. And so because you're single until you're married or until you have an engagement ring on your finger, that means that you are not locked into one individual or any other type of relationship. So this person is multi-dating.
Emphasis on dating and not multi-sleeping. Okay, because I know people be like, oh, but then that just means you just... No, we're not. We're not talking about sexual relationships. We're talking about going on dates, collecting data, and getting to know these individuals. Okay, that's what we're talking about.
I love it. Yeah. So she's multi-dating, and she believes that she's falling in love with the 2 guys that she's currently dating. And she wants to know, first of all, is it possible to be in love with 2 people at the same time? So.
Well, we're going to start with y'all. what do y'all think? Have you ever been in love with two people? Okay, now I'm not even going to put boundaries on the two people. It could be the person that you're with and maybe even an ex, because we know a lot of people just can't let go of their exes. It can be people just, maybe you were multi-dating and you fell for two people simultaneously, or it was two different times. You were still in love with whoever, but at the same time, you also felt like, hey, I also love this person. Do you think it's possible? Or do you feel like, no, your love can only be given at one point to one person? If it's real love, then that focus is going to be on that one person, because I've heard that too. Like, oh, it's not possible, because if that's the case, that means what you have is not real love, because real love is just, singular. But I think if we breaking it just down, I feel like it's very possible, because even though what I'm about to say is two different scopes, okay? Just like you can be married and have a spouse that you are in love with, and then you have children and you can love your children, right? It's not the same. I know that. That's what I'm saying. It's two different scopes. But the point is that the same place that the love is pouring from, that door still gets open to pour out a different kind of love to your kids and a different kind of love to your spouse. So either way, that door can open. So whether it's to two different scopes of my kids and the husband, I feel like it can also be open up twice for two men, open up twice for two women.
But I'm thinking, hey, JJ, thank you for joining us on tonight. I'm thinking that she's saying in love, and I'm thinking that loving somebody and being in love with somebody is two different things.
Well, I feel like you can be in love with two people.
Okay.
I guess I'll just sum it up that way.
Yeah.
I think it's very possible.
Because I know that people fall in and out of love all the time. Even you can talk to married couples that have been married 20 years, and they'll tell you, I've fallen in and out of love with my husband or my wife over the years. So based on that analogy, you possibly could be in love with two people at the same time, but not necessarily have what it takes to have longevity with that person, because
that's two different, what's the word, discussions. I think if we're talking about, do I have the capacity to actually put forth the work to make it work with two people? I don't know about that. But if I'm just talking about off the strength of me being in love with two people, absolutely. Yeah. And I feel like the question is more so, is it possible to be in love with two people? I
know there's more that goes into deciding who you marry besides the feeling of being in love.
Of course.
So that's what I'm saying. There's other variables that's got to play into that for the decision to be made. Even if they propose to you, you still have to, in your own mind, say, is this the person I want to spend the rest of my life with? And so if the question is just simply based, is it possible to be in love with two people at the same time? I would say yes, because being in love is a feeling, and it's something you can fall in and out love. So you can absolutely have very, very strong feelings for two people at the same time. You can have strong feelings for somebody you're not even in a relationship with, that based off of what you just developed in your own mind. And so, yeah.
There's a lot of that.
Right. And so absolutely it's a possibility. But now, can you be in love with two people that you want to spend the rest of your life with?
Dating,
that you're dating for marriage, because she's in Kashaology, of course, we're dating for marriage. Right. That's the ultimate goal. So, but you got to collect that data. And if you're collecting data with just on Nana for 2 years, then you missed the Kashas, the Zenobias, the JJs, all these other people out here. So Kashaology says, collect data on everybody. And then based on what you find out, some people you're going to be like immediately like, you can go, you're off. Now that goes into how many people can you realistically date at one time?
That's a great question. What do y'all think? How many people can you realistically date at one time? And when we say realistically, speaking to where you can actually get to know them and collect the proper data to make the good decision on whether or not it's going to be anything further.
Right.
I mean,
what do you think? How many can you do?
Realistically?
Yeah. I mean, I think this girl, she's doing good. She's only got 2 people that she's multi-dating, so she's narrowed it down.
Yeah.
Right.
I think.
None of those say
y'all acting like y'all don't multi-date or something, because I don't see no.
None of those say nothing crazy.
I don't see no. I ain't gonna say nothing. Y'all ain't talking. I'm not even.
No. What's your answer? How many people?
Realistically. For this, because you have to, actually make time for these people during the weekend, things like that. I would say not to go over 3. I think 3 is enough because I think any more than 3, you're going to be missing out on a lot because the time is going to be so crunched. You're spread way too thin. So I feel like 3 is kind of juggleable, if that's even a word. Other than that, probably 2. But I say 3 is tops.
I say 2, 3 max. 3 max. Yeah.
More than 3.
Because after a while, it's just like you start getting confused. Because even now, I'm not even dating, but sometimes I'll mix up what I heard from somebody else. Like, wait a minute, are you the one that told me that you going to school? Oh no. Oh, okay. So I think the higher chance of you mixing people up will happen in that case. So
you just have to train yourself to not do that. Let me give you guys some free game real quick. Okay.
Just you don't remember.
No, you just don't save their numbers.
What?
It forces you to memorize the numbers. So you remember who you're talking to. Because when you look at the number, you automatically know who it is. As opposed to just when it's a name, you don't really pay it. To me, anyway, when I was doing that, I felt like if I saw the name, it was easy for me to even mix up names because I'm focusing too hard on, okay, it's this person. But if I just leave it as a number, then when I know them by the numbers, it makes me remember their name. And so it's like, oh, I know who I'm talking to.
Weird. Now, I don't think I would mix up the name.
I don't even say the names, really. Just being real. If you're multi-dating, don't even say the name. If I say your name, then I'm probably mad at you. I don't say names. You use general names. Y'all know this.
Right.
Love,
endearments, terms of endearment.
Babe, baby, sweetheart, those kind of things. Okay, we don't do names.
Okay.
Let's see. Mary Martin said, "Love is just an energy that's shared between us. If it's being fed mutually, you can feel love for many people. However, it needs to be fed, so one could sometimes get more attention. 2 max.
2 max.
So
okay.
2, no more than 2.
So, Mary, you believe that as long as it's being fed, it can develop into love. So obviously this young lady, or this, I don't even know her age on this one, but apparently she's sharing equally her time in order for her to be able to fall in love with both of them. I mean, she's got to be, because I think that would be the hard part. Like, because you know how we get, sometimes we'll like somebody that maybe ain't even the one we should like more than the other. And sometimes we would like, okay, I know these are the facts, but I really like him.
Especially if y'all just have a lot of fun together, because that just be the worst. It's like y'all a whole vibe together, but at the same time too, there's also some things that long term is probably not gonna work.
Right.
But you just really like them and you want it. Because why? That P word that's so dangerous, potential.
Oh.
Yeah, I knew you're right. I know y'all get your mind out the gutter. Get your mind out the gutter. We're talking about potential. Okay.
Listen, we can't marry
potential is poisonous. Yes.
Right. I mean, when you're 20, we can look at potential, but if you're 50 years old,
my
40 years old, 30 years old, yeah. But I can't discount that either, though. I really can't, because like that movie with what's her name? She was married to the husband that had that little computer thing, the whole marriage.
What's on the tip of my tongue? And he went on to marry
Taraji Henson and
Acrimony.
Yes. Yeah, he carried that thing around for 20 years of their marriage, and as soon as she left him, he became like a multi-millionaire. Like she married
so
potential.
Much in that, yeah.
She did. I really thought he was gonna share that with her.
I mean, I feel like he did his part. Y'all seen Acrimony. I feel like the husband did well by writing her a check. He at least went back and he didn't forget about her, but she was still just so caught up on just the greediness and just wanted.
Well, because everything that they talked about, where they were going to live, what they were going to do.
She's the one who wanted the divorce. It's her own fault, though. It's not right. He left.
But I'm saying that's what made it hard for her.
Get the right.
Because it would be different if, like, he just went off and started a life with this other woman, but he didn't just start a life. He took the details of what she wanted and literally gave that exact same thing, exact same building, exact same plans.
Well, y'all, was he wrong? Let's just be real. Do y'all think he was wrong?
Yes.
Because that was his dream too. So I got to sacrifice my dreams because you divorced me?
No, it ain't about sacrificing your dream.
But he wanted that. We talked about it together, right? And now we are no longer together. That means just because I'm not with you, everything I said I wanted with you, I can't do no more because you're gone.
Yeah, but those was things.
Whatever. No, we don't do that. These dreams gonna live.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that would be I ain't gonna lie. That would be such a hard pill to swallow.
It would be, but hey, nobody told her to get that pill in the first place.
What happened to her then?
She got so jealous and they got married on the boat, and she snuck on the boat. and then
she
attacked them and she got killed.
That's true.
She went right down to the bottom of the ocean.
I ain't gonna lie, that would be a hard pill to swallow. Just the investment of time and carrying him and him spending all her money and all that.
That's
and then
true.
You get it, and she's like, okay, let's get back together. Because you realize
he had moved on though about it. He was like, no, not today.
Yeah, I that would be a hard pill to swallow. I think I would have to be just laying on the altar.
I think the hardest part to me would have been the fact that, okay, I realize I messed up or whatever, and I'm feeling like we have all this history. So when I do come back, that you'll be like, oh, okay, like, because you love me too,
right? You said you did.
We're going to work it out. But for you to just be like, nah, like, I'm good. That to me would be a slap in the face, like, okay, after all the sacrifices that I'm making, like, you don't even want to try this anymore just because of that, the way that it ended. Like, what? So, yeah, I see why she snapped. But at the same time, he wasn't wrong. I don't feel like he was wrong.
Marvin, thank you. He said it was acrimony. Thank you, Marvin Woods. How you doing tonight?
Cheryl said dreams don't change because your partner changes. See, thank you, Cheryl. Just because they gone don't mean it don't stop no show. Okay, vacancy don't stop Nathan.
Whatever.
Antonio
don't be
Sanders,
sharing my dreams with nobody else. I don't care if we can't put it together. You better dream something else with her.
Wait, Antonio Sanders said, hell yes, he's wrong for writing her a check.
So, Antonio, what you trying to say? He should have gave her nothing?
No money? Or you're saying that he should?
How much did he give her?
Yeah, how much did he give her? He gave her some millions.
Was it millions?
Yeah, it was millions. It was like, how much was it? Like 4 or is it 7? He gave her a lot of money. Like,
I would have took that money and went to an island somewhere and
could have bought an island. Like she
chilled out. Yeah. She allowed that hurt to overtake her.
JJ said she was crazy, but she also listened to the negative energy of her sisters. Right. I'm not saying he was the best man during that time, but she listened to outside influences. Oh, and did I say she was crazy?
Yes.
Yeah, they had a huge influence on. Remember that time they were sitting around and they were all saying, "Girl, she gonna do it." I know you did. And when he came back and said he wanted to work it out, he didn't want her to do that, and everyone was kind of looking at her like, "Girl, so what you gonna do?" You know, and in front of them, she was like, "Oh, I'm the." You know, and then she had to eat crow later, but
right, man, she ate crow and sparrow, raccoon,
all of that. Cheryl said no, he should write a check. She carried him for years. Yeah, she did.
That's why I said I know Antonio ain't saying he should have gave her nothing.
Antonio, what you saying?
Because, bruh, she lost everything. She lost her inheritance from her mom. She lost her mama's house
because he wanted to.
Right. Some of these things she could never get back.
Yeah.
So he needed to write a check. Now, was that check big enough compared to what he got? He probably felt like it was. I'm sure because he got like, I don't know, I think it was like 140 million.
Yeah, he got a lot. I think she got 7. He gave her 7. I think it was 7 million.
Nobody remember. Well, either way it goes, it should have been double digits.
140 is not a lot.
That is not. It should have been double digits. I should have got at least 25 million. Now I'm wondering if she would have got 25 million, if she would have had a different.
No, because the money wasn't the issue with her. That was the whole point. Like she didn't care about the money. It was the principle of like, you living out my dream with her, and I'm seeing her post all this stuff on Facebook. Because remember, she was making fake profiles, and she went to the wedding designer she wanted, had the wedding dress she wanted, proposed to her the place she wanted to. So that part was what was eating her up. It wasn't that much about the check. It was, But he got her mom's house back. Yeah, he did.
Still though, I don't know. This is a conundrum. I'm sorry. I know we're talking about is it possible to be in love with two people at the same time? To be in love, not love, because we love everybody.
Yeah.
Right, but to be in love with two people. But now we done jumped on this acrimony.
So what is in love? Let's talk about that. Because you said in love is a feeling, right? Well, and I agree, but I'm just curious as far as when someone says that they're in love, when you say that you're actually in love, and since it's like this verb, so to speak, how would you all describe being in love? Like what is that? I'm just curious.
He did not give her 10 million, Marvin. It was not double digits.
No, it was something. He gave her a good amount.
Yeah, but it was single. It was like a 7 or a 5. It wasn't 10.
Yeah, maybe. You know what?
It could have been 10. It could have been 10, but I don't think it was double digits. But thank you for that, Marvin.
He broke her off though.
He broke her off. So it was only 75. 10 was what?
Yeah, that would be
12%.
I mean, if your significant other, well, I won't say your ex gave you a check for that much, would that be enough to just shut you up and let you live your life? Or would
I think the difference is she wasn't over him when she got rid of him. She was still in love with him,
which is why she never should have.
Got rid of him, right? Right. So, but yeah, I'm sorry. So the question was, is it, what was the question?
Oh, no, I was asking people when they think about in love, what does in love mean? But I guess no one's saying anything, so y'all must not ever be in love, or y'all just want to talk about your feelings
in love
today?
is something that changes because you can be in love with somebody today and then out of love with somebody tomorrow. So I believe you can be in love with two people, even though I can't say I've ever been in love with two people, but I've never evenly dated two people to give two people an opportunity for me to fall in love with. So,
right. Yeah,
but
I think that, see, when I think of in love as opposed to just I love you, some of you like love somebody. Of course, like we talked about, we love everybody. Like there's a care, there's a compassion, there's all those things. But when you're in love, it's like an active pursuit of that person's heart in a sense. So it's like you think about them more, like they're actively on your mind. It's not a thing about, oh, I just love you. You know what I'm saying?
I think that word "in" is like I'm in love, which means this is a cup of love. I'm in this love. Yeah. Okay.
Surrounded.
I'm swimming around.
Surrounded.
I'm swimming around in love.
Like Monica said in that song that I hate. I got love all over me. Something. I remember that's how it started, but I hate the song. But those lyrics, that's exactly what it is. Me just all over. Antonio said she's investing in his dream no matter if he made it or not. Second, did this woman tell the two guys they're competing for her? Let them make the choice after they share that info. No, I think they know that she's multi-dating.
Yeah, she's single.
Yeah, she's
made that very clear.
But we were asking what you were talking about, the chick. So you said she's investing.
No, he's saying that it was an investment, and sometimes you don't get a return on your investment. But if I'm investing in you to make it,
and you make it,
I need a return. Where's the ROI?
That was the purpose.
I need a return on my investment. So yeah, he should have gave her something because it was a return on her investment. She suffered loss, so she really could have took him to court and been like, I lost this, I lost that. Because anytime there's a loss, you can.
She did take him to court. Remember, but she lost. The judge was like, he's been more than generous.
Right.
And so Cheryl said Marvin was right. He did give her $10 million. I looked it up. She said I looked it up. Okay, Google. Marvin said, in today's dating world, there's a lack of respect for love. A lot of people just don't feel like it really exists anymore. Like real love. I see it all the time in the relationship group I'm in.
When he says in today's dating world, what does that mean? That people aren't dating for love anymore? When he says there's a lack of respect for love?
Like those of us who are like single and dating, a lot of the mentality of a lot of people is like they're just
dating to date. They're not looking for love and looking for. Well, in that case, yes, I concur. But I think like somebody alluded to, do they know or whatever? But I think it needs to be established up front. I want to date for marriage, or I'm wanting to date for a relationship that could grow into marriage. And so, but it's really gonna have to be marriage because I'm single and so I'm married. So if you want to put me on lock, you want to put a ring up. But the point is that I think that does need to be established. Maybe not the moment you meet them, but at least on the first date.
Antonio said, how many guys ladies invest in and lost everything? It's not uncommon. How many guys?
Right, but if they made it on that investment, then they have to. It's not common. No, it's not. But there are a lot of women.
It is more common than you think. Right. You remember, what was it? Two can play that game where Vivica Fox was trying to help out. What's his face? Bobby Brown.
Yeah.
And he was the mechanic, and she like cleaned him up and was helping him.
That wasn't her. Vivica Fox. It was the other lady.
Not Vivica Fox.
But I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Was dating him, and she did all that.
And then he left.
Yeah. And in general, that's why we say like a lot of women, because we're such nurturers, we do pick up these project men. When I say project, I don't mean like they're from
the project.
But projects as in you work on them, you help build him.
Right.
Build a bear, build a man, like you help him pursue his dream, you help him quote unquote build that empire together. And they get there, they arrive and kick you off
and go
the train. So it's like exactly. So it's more common than you think.
Right.
That's yeah.
And how many stories have we heard of women who worked 2 jobs to put their husband through school, only for him to become a doctor or a lawyer and leave? Mm-hmm. So it is common, actually, very common. And so I think that a woman who invests her time, even if you decide to move on, she should get a return on her investment. Like, what was that Tyler Perry movie where she worked for her husband to get all the way up through getting his degree and going to school, and they got that huge house, and then he dragged her out onto the porch and made her get in that Uber. Remember?
I don't remember which one that was.
Right, it was a Tyler Perry movie.
But even waiting
and Madea went over there and cut his couch in half with the saw. Yeah, that movie. She did the exact same thing. She supported him. She supported him, through all his years of career. She put her career to the side. Mm-hmm. And stopped making her source of income so she could totally be invested in his ventures. Yeah. And then what happens? He gets to this certain level and he brings another woman into
it was bye-bye Negro. And let's just be real. Waiting to Exhale, again, Angela Bassett's character, how her husband cheated and she did all that. Y'all forgot in the song, what did Mary J. Blige say? I was your lover and your secretary, working every day of the week. So she was doing all this for 11 years.
11 years.
Doing all that at the drop of a dime, whatever he needed, she made sure to invest into him, and only for him to
what?
To cheat and leave.
For him to cheat with nothing.
Nothing. So
she burned up his stuff, which I'm not condoning, but I am saying that's what happened. Yeah. But the point is that what happened when old boy got crippled though, when he thought he was paralyzed. Then now all of a sudden, the lady done left him because he's paralyzed because she wanted nothing but your money.
And that was my favorite part when she let him kind of almost halfway drown in the tub, and he was like a fish in water. I was like, yes, sis, yes, thank you. Cheryl said the word love is overused. It is a key that opens the door among other things.
Opens doors among other things.
Because people hear it and feel like,
like I love apples, I love peaches, like we love everything.
Marvin said being upfront puts boundaries on how much a person will be willing to commit to getting to know you.
You think so? What? I mean,
not if that's also what you want,
right?
But that's why it's good, because if that's not what you want, you won't even waste your time.
Well, he could be talking about being upfront about multi-dating.
Oh,
because I think you need to be upfront about the fact that I see what he's saying. Like if you're dating a guy and he says, look, I'm saying, I'm multi-dating, I'm dating multiple people, then you might be like, well,
I got competition. Stay less.
Right. Oh, so a woman probably would step up. A man would probably step back.
Yeah, because y'all take it different, and it's funny to me because I would expect it to be considered y'all are like alpha males, and I'm a hunter. But once you let it be known that hey, other people are hunting me too, then it's like, oh, if it's gonna be all that, then I don't even want to deal with her. And it's like,
like, you guys are so exasperating.
Let's see.
Exasperating.
Kendall Shepard said, "Diary of a Man,
Black Woman." Thank you, Kendall.
Mary Martin said, you should be dating with intention. Who's dating and looking for love? You can sit in the park if you're just trying to meet people and forget them. But
you should be dating with intention. But the truth is, Mary, some people are just dating to
Their intention is to have fun. Everyone's intentions are just not the same. So they're intentionally dating for what it is they're wanting to get out of it. So if you want long-term, that's what people are dating for. Some people just want hookups. That's what they're dating for. So it's intentional.
But you have to be upfront about what your intentions are.
That's the part.
And that's the problem. You got somebody here dating for marriage and somebody dating for a hookup. And you're not communicating. Why? Because you're afraid it's gonna mess up your hookup. That's no bueno. Mm-hmm. It's no bueno.
So then they wait till after they hook up, and it's like, did I say relationship?
Hold on. Wait, let me read this. Antonio Sanders says, as a wife, you're supposed to put yourself or your dreams on the back burner for your husband. When did that change for a woman position? Okay. Put yourself on the back burner or dreams on the back burner for your husband. Okay, so what I'm going to need you to do is go read Proverbs 31 about the Proverbs 31 woman. Because in actuality, Proverbs 31 woman, it talks about how she rises up early before her husband or her kids and prepares them for the day. It says how she goes into the market and she makes trades. She trades linen and trades all these things and clothes and jewels. And it also says how she goes and she buys real estate. So just because you're a wife, you don't doesn't mean that you have to lay down who you are for your husband, but that's why it's important to communicate before you get married, to see if y'all, because you're not just marrying a body, you're marrying their beliefs, you're marrying their dreams, you're marrying their goals, and that goes both ways. I don't become anonymous when we become synonymous.
Ooh, say that again.
I don't become anonymous when we become synonymous. We are two becoming one.
Type that in the comments.
That was but yeah, so Antonio, so we're not supposed to lose ourselves and who we are, because that's why you have women that are in miserable marriages who had aspirations and dreams, and they gave them up for their husband, and even though they gave them up willingly at the time, they began to resent them for that. So that's why it's imperative that a real husband is not going to ask his wife to give herself up for him, but he's going to figure out how they can both achieve their goals together. She's going to build him up. He's going to build her up, because we always look at what the Bible tells the wife. Wives, be good to your husband. Wives, cherish your husband. Wives, loves your husband, and there's Christ on church. But if you flip it over and go a couple of scriptures down, it tells the husband the same exact thing.
As Christ loved the church, there's also a requirement for the husband, because everybody always focuses on the submission part for the woman.
Right. But then it says, submit yourselves one to another, which means you've got to submit. And it should be some double submitting. And so what we're dealing with now is people taking isolated scriptures and making that their brand when it's not in context.
Right.
I just preached about this Sunday. You guys go to YouTube, Ramp Church Texas, check out my sermon called Oops, I Did It Again. But I talked about how things have to be read in context. And the way you get the context is reading the above and the after. So when you got a scripture, because some people just throw these scriptures around
they read it for self-value, like face value. I mean, they take it literally for what it says. And it's like, you have to understand the time that it was said in, who he was talking to, and the context of the whole situation to get an understanding. And then you apply it. You don't just take that and just say, oh yeah, that has a part that I like and that can relate to my situation, so I'm just going to swing that around. Because that's what's happening, especially with submission, because it's a hot mess. Marvin said, so there were biblical.
Okay.
Where?
No, go ahead and read Marvin, but yeah, go back up to, go ahead.
What? I read all those. Which one did I miss? High value man. Oh, right there.
And then going down. But go ahead. All right. So Marvin, he says, were there biblical real estate agents? So yes, if you go back into the book of Proverbs, chapter 31, and you begin to read about the Proverbs 31 woman, it will tell you that she purchased real estate. So it didn't say she dealt with a real estate agent, but it did say that she purchased real estate for her family. So she purchased, it's called land, but when you go into the ESV or other versions,
Marvin said being upfront about marriage is a turnoff because you don't know them yet.
It's not a turnoff. I'm not saying I want to marry you. I don't even know you.
I'm letting you know that's what I want.
Right.
That's
my desire.
Yeah, that's just like, for example, if you were to go to a job interview and then you tell your job that, oh, my long term is I would like to move here, here, and here in the company. You're just letting them know what you want. Should you be hired for the position? But if they were to look at you and say, oh, well, that's a turnoff because, like, we don't know if we even want to hire him yet. He's already telling us what he wants to do long term. That's kind of the point. The point of dating is to, again, collect data. So I want to make sure that if we're supposed to be working towards something, we're on the same page. Do you want what I want? Do you like what I want? Is it something that you can deal with? That kind of thing. So for someone says that they're looking for marriage, that's up to you to make a decision to say, do you want to deal with that? Is that what you want?
Is that what you're looking to?
But it's not about whether it should be. It shouldn't be a turnoff because it's a state of fact. Like that's just what.
Fact.
Yeah, that's just what they're looking for.
That's like somebody telling you up front, I want kids. I'm not saying I want them with you, but I get what you're saying. But what I'm saying is that if you go through dating without ever saying what you want out of it, then you're gonna get what you get. And they can't go with it. We gave the example of the lady who was dating the guy for 6 months, and then she tells him, hey, I'm ready for our relationship to go to the next level. And the guy says,
what relationship?
What relationship? We've never discussed it. I've never said you're my woman. You've never said, will you be my man? So we have no relationship, so there's nothing to go further. Right. And then she began to say all the things she did for him. I wash your clothes. I clean. I cook for you. He said, I never asked you to do any of that. And so you got to have communication.
Yeah.
I don't want to waste your time. And I definitely don't want you to waste mine.
That is it right there.
I don't.
You can't get that
That's
back.
something you can't get back.
Antonio said a high value man will step back if she's dating multiple people.
Define high value.
So this is the term
because
that I see a lot nowadays.
You do?
High value, because especially because of Kevin Samuels, which is the guy I sent you the thing on YouTube, and he's supposed to be just really raw and just tells women about themselves all the time, and he's always talking about a high value man and a high value woman. But my thing is, when high value, according to him, is like, the men who are the most wanted, who are educated and make good money, can get like any woman that they want type of thing.
Oh, he means like quantity, like if you had to quantify them.
Yeah.
Like, you had to quantify them, their value would be high because they're the most
what they have to offer. Yeah, they are the men who have the most to offer.
Okay.
But I don't see why they would, because most of them are dating multiple people as well. Like, so.
Right. I think Cheryl Thomas addresses him a little later. What we got here?
Let's see. Said that one. Man wants to apologize to your ancestors, Antonio.
You better apologize, Antonio.
Oh, that was us. You don't become anonymous when you two become synonymous. You are still an individual, even in
right
marriage.
there, Cheryl. Oh, wait, that one. Yeah.
Oh, it came. I was like, it came twice.
No, we just went up and came back down. Okay, so Cheryl says in response to Antonia's comment about high value men, she says she don't think so. She don't think that high value men will step away if you tell them you're looking for marriage or you're multi-dating. She said, why? Because high value men are competitive. So they're too competitive. That'll be like a challenge. Like, because they're used to women falling at their feet.
And wanting to, and just for ego purposes, because high value men, quote unquote, a lot of them have egos because they know they're a commodity. They know the ratio of men to women is slim and it's not in our favor. So they have leverage even in that sense. So if a woman was to say, hey, it's not just you, a lot of them too would also feel like, okay, well then I'm used to, like she said, having it my way, because I know most of the time I can kind of like pull the women any kind of way because everybody kind of wants me. But for her to tell me that, oh, she's talking to other, like, I'm gonna show her. So I feel like they would.
I got this. Yeah. Right. You might get roses the next night.
Marvin said, you earn money at a job to make a living. Dating is a pleasure.
And it is. It is a pleasurable thing. It's not a requirement or anything like that. But what we're saying, Marvin, is that I don't think it takes the pleasure out of dating. But I think what it is that you have women and men that have dated for years and there was no expected end. Come on, everything got an expected end. And so if you don't establish what your expectations are, then you will find yourself dating for 2, 3, 4 years when you really want to start a family. Now you done missed your good birthing years. You done missed, your good years when you had your energy and everything. Now you're 39 and you realize that he will never marry me.
Yeah, and he just backed that up too and said that's lack of communication, which is a social problem that they have. Lack of communication.
Lack of communication.
Antonio said, meaning he's making 6 figures and has everything he needs or desires.
Right. Yeah. High value. We got it. But did you get us? Did you get us?
Mary said, please, those high value men love hotels and prostitutes. Exactly. They pay for a lot of it. Like, you'll be surprised. The clientele for a lot of these madams most of them are quote unquote high value men. When I used to work at the strip club, the men who came in with their briefcases in the morning before a shift, because I was even during the daytime, they were all quote unquote high value men, 6 figure men buying these strippers, Mercedes, Valentine's Day. A lot of them got cars in the freaking parking lot with bows on them from high value men. So multi-dating ain't gonna scare them off. Trust me.
Absolutely.
I feel like if that's really what they want, it's not gonna scare them off. Cheryl said they see themselves as successful winners.
Right. So they're all about competition. So we totally have diverted from the question, but I think we've got the answer. She just wants to know, is it possible to be in love with 2 people? And the answer is
yes.
Yes, it's possible. And so, but just because you're in love, just keep in mind that it's a feeling and you can be in it today and out of it tomorrow. And so please don't base that on a long-term decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say it needs to be some more sustenance. And so maybe now that you've ascertained that I'm in love with both of them,
now what?
Now I need to dig into my data to see which one I'm actually most compatible with, which one is actually going to, we're going to be able to grow together. Not necessarily my twin, but we got common interests.
So you're going from chemistry to compatibility.
Right.
Those are two totally different things, right? Chemistry is the feeling, the butterflies, the way you guys vibe together. Compatibility is long term. Do we both want the same things? Mm-hmm. Our belief system, is it going to be able to work as far if we're going to start a family? Like, is there going to be any kind of conflict?
Does he believe in God?
Mm-hmm. Those kind of things. So chemistry to compatibility, and then if you dig there and you're still confused, girl, just write us again. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, write us again. We'll talk about it. So listen, we want to thank you all so much for joining us on tonight in the Women in Power Radio Show. Yep. I pray that for those of you that submitted the questions, you got the answers that you needed. So unclick the comment first. We got one more comment we're going to read, and this is the last one.
No, which one can you not live without?
But when you're in love, you feel like you
I was about to say, you got to look at the logistical, analytical part, because if not, it's like, ooh, just that feeling, I can't live without that. Right. And you made a decision on chemistry and not compatibility.
Because when you're in love, you're like, I don't want to wake up a day without him. Well, you got two of them. You're going to have to look into more than that.
There's been days where I didn't want to wake up without somebody who ain't had no job. Okay. So that definitely is not nothing.
Absolutely. Mary says,
we all get naked in the shower and get way too caught up in symbols. Kindness, compassion, joyful, gratefulness, thoughtfulness. These are the things I look for in people. All that other stuff will come with it.
That's good. Compassion. Yes, Lord. Joyful, grateful. Those are good. That's good, Mary. Basic, foundational stuff that we can build on. But if you don't have no compassion,
it ain't gonna work. So yeah, I guess, before I will say, final thoughts.
Yeah, my final thought for her is, yes, you can be in love with two people, but there's more to it that has to be looked at.
Yeah, and I'll say it's definitely possible to be in love with two people, but I think you need to do the digging, like we said, and start looking at long-term compatibility. But I guess it just gets tricky in the sense that since you are actively dating both of them, when it's time to cut one off, like that's going to be because you're technically like in love. How do you even go about that? Because have you ever been in love with two people while you were dating them? Because it's one thing to be like, oh, I'm in love with somebody from the past, and
we know you're gonna ghost the other one.
Don't do that. Don't do you.
But you know what? Just have a real conversation and say, look, we've been dating for 3 months, and these are some things that I think will cause us to not
This about you, but I love this about them more.
You don't even have to bring the other person into it. Just deal with them one-on-one, because to me, I don't want to hurt you more than necessary. So I'm just going to tell you why I feel like we won't be compatible.
Marvin said, I bet she's sleeping with the both.
We don't know that, Marvin. It was only said dating. Everybody that's dating is not sleeping.
Okay.
But so listen, for those, we want to thank you so much for tuning in, and those of you that come back every week, we love you so much. Listen, in order to keep this show going and continue to upgrade and do all the things that we do, we're asking that you donate to our Cash App at $. I
don't know which way it's showing to y'all.
WOP Radio.
Yeah, please. And if you haven't already,
special shout out to Ricky for giving last week. Thank you, Ricky.
Thank you. Please go to our YouTube channel and like and subscribe. Okay, just hit the bell so you can get all the notifications. Again, we don't even care that you don't go on there and watch it on YouTube. It's just for the algorithms, right? So just like it, subscribe, and you never have to get on there again. Okay, and then if you have family who don't have Facebook, you can just send them the link. Like, my people are old school. They don't have Facebook. So when we go live, I just send the link of YouTube, you know what I'm saying? So they can jump on that way. So that'll help us out a lot. And if you haven't already, please leave a Facebook review letting people know what to look forward to and why you guys like the show, why you don't like the show. I mean, just keep it real with us, because we're real and raw over here all the time. So we would love to hear your feedback. And lastly, if you want to submit a question, you are more than welcome to put it right here in the comments. You can write us at womenofpower5@gmail.com, or you can just slide into our DMs and then write the question there so that we will cover it with the Savage Squad, and they'll give you some feedback. We'll give you some feedback, and hopefully it'll help you out in a major way. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So that's it. That's all.
That's it. That's all, y'all. So thank you again for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week. Same bad place. Same bad time.
Share the video, please. Like and share the video. Good night, y'all.
Good night.